Jurassic World, a sequel 14 years in the making. 14 long years, might I add. Ever since I heard news of a fourth Jurassic Park movie way back in the early 2000s, I was so excited to learn more about it. It seemed that every few years there'd be a small new piece of information about the movie, but then it just kind of faded away into the shadows once again. The years continued to go by. Sometimes I wondered if this movie would ever get made. I had to be patient, and it wasn't easy, but that patience eventually paid off. Jurassic World was finally released in 2015 and gave me one of the greatest experiences I've ever had at the movie theater. This movie was definitely the treat for Jurassic Park fans. There are so many great moments, it was hard to pick just 10. A lot of you have been asking for this video, and I want to thank you for your patience. I'm really excited about this one, so today I present to you my top 10 favorite moments in Jurassic World. You know the drill by now, it's based on my own opinion. Here we go.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
INDOMINUS Rex vs. ACU. Don't get me wrong, I like this scene, but I put it low on my list because I already got the basic idea of what was going to happen after I saw this scene in the trailers, so there wasn't much of a surprise factor. But I still gotta give credit where it's due in terms of showing new things. I knew the INDOMINUS Rex was going to annihilate the ACU, again, based on what I saw in the trailers, but I didn't necessarily think it was going to camouflage, at least until I saw the INDOMINUS Rex toy by Hasbro. And it ended up camouflaging, and it was pretty cool. Sure, we've seen camouflage in the Lost World arcade game and read about it in the Lost World novel, but we've never actually seen it in a Jurassic Park movie until now. I like this scene because it showed us a new ability, and it showed us what the INDOMINUS Rex does best, and that's kill.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
It's in there with you. If you remember this scene from the trailers, they only teased small glimpses of the INDOMINUS Rex, such as its feet or its arms. We never got to see the whole creature during that part. And they still do that in the final version of the movie. You get glimpses. You get a glimpse of its hands. You get a glimpse of its head. Because the camera doesn't stay focused on the INDOMINUS Rex for very long by the time its full body is in the frame. It's like the movie was teasing again, even when it broke out. And once it broke out, the movie really started going into action. It sent a truck flying with its head. Now that's power. And of course it ate up the paddock worker in one bite, adding one more victim to its kill streak. It was also cool seeing Owen use his smarts to hide his scent from the INDOMINUS Rex. Generally speaking, I like this scene because it introduced us to the INDOMINUS Rex, giving us glimpses of what it is, foreshadowing that there's plenty more carnage on the way.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
Raptor training. This scene was very unique because we got to see a whole new side to the Raptors we've never seen before, and we're introduced to the new star of the movie, Owen Grady. What made these Raptors different from the ones in the other Jurassic Park movies is that they followed commands from a human. This is because the Raptors saw Owen as the alpha, their pack leader. Owen imprinted on them when they were born, so that bond was very strong since the very beginning. And the level of communication shown between two different species and the bonds that resulted are, to me, one of the most fascinating things introduced to the Jurassic Park movies. If you remember from my Best Raptors in Jurassic Park video, I mentioned that the Raptors in Jurassic World displayed the best social skills. This scene was the one that gave us that new direction. Then the scene takes a break from the Raptor training to go into the plot point of whether weaponizing the Raptors should be done or not. Then we got to see Owen work his magic again when the Raptors were cornering the young paddock worker. But even though Owen was the alpha, he still never had complete control over them, and he knew that. And that's one of the messages that the Jurassic Park movies have been emphasizing again and again for many years. Man's desire to control nature. Overall, this scene just stood out for me because of the new direction it took.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
Welcome to Jurassic World. I love this scene for many reasons. For one thing, I feel that this scene was an accurate representation of how we as Jurassic Park fans felt for 14 years. To illustrate my point, watch Gray during this scene. Just look at the excitement on his face. He was so excited to see the Jurassic World theme park just as much as we were excited to see the Jurassic World movie. This scene made you relate to Gray. You felt his excitement as though you were a kid again. What I also like about this scene is that it pays tribute to the first Jurassic Park movie. We remember that the kids were looking at the Jurassic World gate with amazement. Then we also remember that many of us were once those kids as well, when we saw Jurassic Park. We also got a nice rendition of the original Jurassic Park theme. Throughout this scene, the music was starting to build up for something big. Just a little bit longer. Gray said it best.
I don't want to wait anymore!
Then the original theme reaches its climax and gave us a great shot of the park. It was a wonderful scene that reintroduced us to a world we've waited 14 years to see, all while making us feel like kids again.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
The Visitor Center. This scene was another tribute to Jurassic Park because we got to go back to where it all began. I remember being frozen in my seat, my jaw dropping when those doors opened. The dinosaur bones, the banner, I remembered it all. Then the scene played a more sentimental rendition of the Jurassic Park theme. The music, combined with the shot of the mural, made this scene very nostalgic. So many memories of Jurassic Park came flooding back to me during this scene. This was the place that gave me so many unforgettable memories, and now it was laid to waste. It was an emotional scene for me. Once again, the movie took many of us back to when we were younger, and I feel as though the filmmakers made this scene specifically for older generations of Jurassic Park fans. Thanks for thinking of us.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
Pterosaur attack. This scene is what you'd come to expect when it comes to a movie about a theme park filled with prehistoric creatures. When the pterosaurs escaped from the aviary, I couldn't wait to see what kind of chaos would rain down upon Jurassic World. Now I know that may make me sound like a bit of a misanthropist, but come on, look back at Jurassic Park. Some of the best parts of that movie are when the dinosaurs escaped and created chaos. It's the same idea here. The only big difference here is that there are more people involved. Chaos was what I wanted, and chaos was what I got. The pterosaurs wasted no time in picking off people, and of course, this scene also gave us what I still think is the most brutal human death in the series so far, when Zara was tossed around by the pteranodons and then eaten by the MOSASAURUS. Then Owen came to help save the day, and even Claire went badass when she shot a Dimorphodon. Overall, this scene was the perfect example of just how helpless humans can be when nature fights back.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
The Mosasaurus show. The scene in the trailer that really hooked me in and amazed me, because we got to see a new animal, the Mosasaurus. It was awesome seeing it blast up from the water, open its massive jaws, and chomp down on the shark. Then we got to see a better shot of the Mosasaurus when it swam below. Just think that something like that actually swam in our oceans millions of years ago. This scene gave you an idea of what it was like. Now I know I mentioned in entry number 10 about already knowing the basic gist of the scene because of the trailers, and the same could be said for this scene too. But the reason why I put this scene higher on my list is because it still has that wow factor every time I watch it. Watching it breach the surface and open those jaws is awesome to watch every time. I know it's a relatively short scene, so there's not much more to talk about, but it was a great introduction to one of the most memorable animals in the movie.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
Raptor Recon. Hands down one of the most awesome and badass scenes in the movie, and in the entire franchise for that matter. I know I said the Mosasaurus show scene hooked me in when I saw the trailers, but this scene got me hook, line, and sinker. Look at it. Owen's riding a motorcycle with a pack of raptors. In every Jurassic Park movie, we've always seen the raptors antagonizing humans, but in this movie, they're actually working together. Dinosaurs and man forming a bond and functioning as a team. That's exactly what we got from Owen and the Raptor Squad. His bond with the raptors was unlike anything we've ever seen in these movies. In my opinion, this scene establishes Owen as one of the most, if not the most badass character in all the Jurassic Park movies, because no one else did what he did. Even Zach practically said so.
Your boyfriend's a badass.
Apart from the badassery was the exciting music that accompanied this scene. It was exciting because it felt like you were, for lack of a better phrase, getting hyped. That you were about to head into battle alongside your comrades, and you were all going to make something big happen. Yes, this scene definitely has its good qualities. Badassery, exciting music, and of course, raptors. A truly awesome scene.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
Queen of Isla Nublar. This scene is special to me because for one thing, it features Rexy, the beloved icon of the series. The other thing that really made this scene so memorable was the music. It was triumphant and victorious. It felt like achieving victory. And at the same time, it sort of felt like reaching the end of a journey. A 14-year journey. Many of us waited 14 years for this movie to come out, and this is how it would end. At least until Fallen Kingdom came out. I know I said that the visitor center scene was emotional, but this scene takes the cake. I came so close to crying when I first saw it, and I'm not afraid to admit that. The T-Rex, the icon, stood tall once again after 22 years, all while a flood of Jurassic Park memories came rushing at me alongside the wonderful music. It was a beautiful shot and arguably the greatest ending scene in all the Jurassic Park movies.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
T-Rex vs. I-Rex. This should really be no surprise, because I think this is pretty much everyone's favorite scene in Jurassic World. It's this very scene that gave me what I think is my greatest experience in a movie theater up until now. Where do you start with this scene? Do you start with the build-up when Claire lights the flare as the snare drums hit in the background as the gate slowly rises? Or do you start with Rexy stepping out of the darkness and out of her paddock? Or better yet, how about Rexy smashing through the Spinosaurus skeleton and roaring? I remember smiling ear to ear when I first saw that scene. After 22 years, the T-Rex finally made her return and made quite the entrance. This was it, Rexy's big comeback moment, a fight with the Indominus Rex. When the fight first started, Rexy seemed to have the upper hand. I remember jostling in my seat, mumbling, "Come on," when she was shaking the I-Rex in her jaws. But then the I-Rex broke free of Rexy's hold, clawed away at her, slammed her to the ground, and began biting her neck. My excitement instantly turned to fear. Not again, I thought. Was it going to be Jurassic Park 3 all over again? It sure seemed that way, and I honestly thought that Rexy was going to die. But what happened next really surprised me, and this was my wife's favorite part. Blue came to the rescue, and during this part, you can hear music from The Lost World if you listen closely. So Blue came to the rescue, Rexy got her second wind, and they both proceeded to lay the smackdown on the Indominus Rex. A T-Rex and a Velociraptor team up against an Indominus Rex. How much more epic can it possibly get? Well, I'll get to that shortly. After taking quite a beating, the Indominus Rex shook off their attacks. How do you stop this thing? Then all of a sudden, the MOSASAURUS jumped out of the lagoon and took the Indominus Rex down and out. Words alone cannot describe my reaction enough. You had to be there in person. But if you want to get an idea as to what my reaction was like, go to the YouTube search bar and type in Joey Styles "Oh My God" sound effect and pick a video. Anyone. That'll give you an idea. And yes, I actually did that out loud in a movie theater. It was at that moment that my wife grabbed my arm and told me to calm down. Oh, bless her. So after watching all that and the battle was finally over, I had to take a breather. What a scene! As I said earlier, this scene gave me what I think is the greatest movie theater experience I've ever had. I say that because I felt like I was immersed in the movie, like I was watching from the sidelines. It's like you forget that you're in a movie theater, and you're in a whole other world. That's how fixated I was during the whole movie, especially during this scene in particular. And isn't that the reason why we watch these kind of movies? This scene had everything you could ask for. Action, suspense, and of course, the icon of the series. It was well worth the 14-year wait. I have watched this scene again, and again, and again, and I still do today. I've watched this scene so much that it rivals the amount of times I've watched Rexy kill the last raptor in Jurassic Park. And to me, that's saying something. I cannot praise this scene enough. This scene will without a doubt hold a special place in my heart for the rest of my days. I'll never forget it. And there you have it, folks. My 10 favorite moments in Jurassic World. What are your favorite moments in Jurassic World? Talk about it in the comments. If you liked this top 10 video, be sure to check out my other top 10 videos too. And I'd really love it if you could click the subscribe button. Don't forget to click the bell. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. See you next video.